Anybody need a handout? Good? All right. Number one is innocence. And it's right there in red down at the bottom of the page. Innocence. In innocence, that's from eternity past. At some point in time, our Father created the heavens and the earth. Amen? And when he created that, of course, we know on the sixth day that he made man. Man was in the garden. After a while, he made woman. And they was in the garden. They were naked. And they were innocent. All they knew was serving God. That's all they knew. They had one law. Anybody know how many laws there are now? 613 laws. They only had one. So for people to think, man, if I just had one law, I can keep it. Amen, somebody. They messed up one. Right. Don't eat of that tree. You can eat anything else in here. Just don't eat of that tree. What did they do? They were hanging out over by the tree. How do I know they was hanging out? Because the serpent was in the tree. And then the next thing you know, we got to talk to the woman, and the woman got to talk to the man, then they started eating. So they moved from innocence to consciousness, which is number two. You can write number two in that little orange block. Consciousness. Somewhere around 400 BC, fall of man. Why did he fall? One word, disobedience to God. There's consequences to disobedience to God. People were God, the man and the woman were disobedient, and therefore they moved into consciousness. They was aware of sin. This, before, all they had was good. Why do you know that? Because that's what the Lord kept saying. He said, let there be, it was, and the report came back, it was good. So everything they had was good. The only thing they could have wanted from that tree was bad. Because everything else was all good. So they moved into knowing how it is to sin against God. Sin, without going technical, sin deals with two different things. Sins of commission, sins of omission. Sin deals with the simple fact of stuff you know you shouldn't be doing, and it deals with facts of stuff you know you didn't know you shouldn't have been doing. All right? Some people say, well, if I don't know, how can I be held accountable? Speed limit down, Gaston. Over there on New York Road is 45. Now you can say you didn't see the sign. Hello, somebody. And he'll say, well, you let the judge know when you get there. So just not, some people say, well, I don't know. And they act as if, well, I don't know, so I didn't know. As if, okay, well, you didn't know, you can leave. No, that's not the way it is. There are sins that we know, and there are sins that we don't know. So man moved into that. Then he moved into human government. That's number three, human government. Human government. And as you can see by the yellow streak, that goes all the way on to tribulation, which we'll touch on that in just a minute. All right, and human government is when man tried to build his own way to God. That's when they went out there and built the tower. And they said, we're going to make us a tower. We're going to go ahead and build our way up to God. You can't come to God on your terms. Amen. I'm dealing with a young lady right now that she's trying to sit down and figure it all out before she comes. And I'm like, you'll die and go to hell first. It ain't going to happen. Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has it entered into the heart of man what God has for those that love him. Amen? Amen. So you can't, I don't care how, look up here, I don't care how much your eyes take in, you can't see. I don't care how much your ears take in, you can't get it. You got to come to God his way. Jesus made it plain. I don't know why so many people try to make it complicated. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. And then he goes in another passage and he says, if you try to go any other way, you're looked upon as a thief. All right? So he's the only way. If he ever said, I am a way, Then you could have talked with Confucius and Buddha and all of them, and you might would have found another way. But he says, I am the way. Y'all with me? And he says, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm so much of the truth, anything that don't line up with me is a lie. And Proverbs 14:12 says, there's a way that seemeth right to a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So any other way you decide to go that's not Jesus' way, it's going to all end up in the same way. Y'all with me so far? Then we move into the fourth dispensation of time. And under this fourth dispensation of time, we see that it is the promise. And if you can number the sands of the sea, if you can number the stars, then you'll be able to number all the folks that are going to come in. You know, this is the Abrahamic covenant and all of that piece there. So that was the fourth dispensation of time. And we moved into the fifth dispensation of time, which was the longest one. And that is the law. That is the law. That's number 5. And the law, of course, came by Moses. That's why he got the 10 commandments and, of course, the other 603. And they're all found between Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. The law books. All right? Any questions so far? All right, now we're in the period of grace, the 6th dispensation of time. That's where we are. The 6th dispensation of time, grace. Many of you here each Sunday, the doors of the church are open. Right? And you hear the doors of the church open. Doors of the church came open once Jesus tore, as